Episode 10, alright, this is Chris from the Parx-e Show here with episode 10. I've done 10 episodes, I'm so stoked. We started in April with my trip to America, and that was a lot of fun. That really was a lot of fun, and I got to interview some amazing people, and got to hang with some amazing people. And I got to hang out with my very dear friend, Michelle Page again, who I love to bits. And a big shout out to her because she's amazing, she's awesome. And I'm really grateful that we got to hang out again. And she's going gangbusters now. She's going to be on this awesome new show, Bosch, which looks really cool. And I've seen some episodes, which has been shown on SBS here in Australia. And it's an awesome show. And she's going to go great in it. And a big shout out to my friend Ella Cannon, who's doing amazing stuff. She's been on this awesome web series called Footballer Wants a Wife, and that's a lot of fun. You gotta check that out. But the gorgeous Ella Cannon, she's going to America. She's ticked all the boxes. The first episode we did a show, she was in America, but now she can do amazing stuff there now. And she's gonna be a star. I know she's gonna be a star. She's fantastic. She's a gorgeous girl. She's a fantastic talent. She's gonna be a star, and America's gonna see why I think she's amazing. And then the 13th of November, which is a week away, at the Brunswick Hotel, The String are playing again on the 13th of November. It's gonna be a great show. We've got The String, who are the main band. We've got the Mojo Pin headline. Then we've got String, who reformed, and they want to play again, so it's going to be a cracker show. Then we got Slider. Then we got the Milky Bishops. But today's show is a cracker for you. We've got the fantastic Demi Louise, who's doing amazing stuff. She's played South by Southwest. She's played Britain. She's played CMJ. She's going back to South by Southwest. We talk about all things music with her. And then we've got the very talented Miss Elm, who's just moved from Brisbane to Melbourne to play music and give it a go. We talk with her and about her band. And it's a cracker of a show. So sit back and enjoy. G'day, this is Chris from the Parx-e Show here. I'm talking to the lovely Demi Louise, who's currently getting her entertainment in a very beautiful Wednesday in Melbourne, and so we really could begin this as I'm saying South by Southwest.
Yes.
So how does it feel to be able to play that again? And
yes, I'm insanely excited. Last year in Austin was like the best week of my whole life, and so yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting back.
So how did that all come about? So how did you get the chance to do it again and all that kind of stuff?
Well, initially, obviously you just apply through Sonic Biz. That's how I apply for South by every year, and I'd done a couple of showcases beforehand, so I think with South by you kind of need to warm up to it a little bit, and yeah, that was what happened, and obviously they liked me, so I was invited back.
So you've played a lot of shows overseas, so how has that helped you in getting your name out there to an overseas audience and the powers that be?
Well, I guess the main thing is when you showcase overseas, it's like you meet a whole new bunch of people there, and then from that it's kind of like people that do showcases are generally people that follow the showcase circuit around, like your South by and Liverpool and Aussie Music Week coming up. So yeah, I guess for me it's been the most valuable experience of any music shows I guess I've played. So yeah. So for yourself,
that's you've doing all that, and you're working really hard, working 4 jobs to make this all happen. So how has that inspired you for all your songwriting, you with your drive and passion and getting your name out there? How does it inspire the songwriting for you?
Well, I guess you can't really put anything else to it other than my whole life is just so busy and driven towards the one thing, so I think it makes my songwriting more refined. And I guess traveling a lot, my songs have become a lot more about traveling. So yeah. So
has your songwriting changed from when you were starting out as an artist, or was it more or less the same?
Oh no, it's changed heaps, yeah. My songwriting's changed so much, I guess just even thinking that 3 years ago I'd just started writing, well probably 4 years ago now, 4 years ago I'd just started writing, and so my whole life experience has kind of changed, so I've developed a lot through co-writing and everything like that.
So do you have moments where you just can't write as a songwriter, or do you have to take a break and do something else?
Not really. I think I haven't really experienced like the writer's block yet. I guess I just kind of have different times in my life where I have time to write, and in the other times I'm kind of like living the inspiration. So yeah, I haven't really had writer's block yet, but I'm sure it's coming at some point.
So how important is social media to you as an artist? How important is it to you and engaging with your fans and connecting with your fans?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me it's like the basis of most of the stuff that I do, like the whole YouTube thing and kind of like sharing when I'm traveling with people, and it's probably like naturally really, really important in this day and age, because you kind of don't, I don't know, people kind of look at that stuff before they look at your website, or they look at coming to your shows. Like there's all these different platforms for people to kind of investigate what you're doing. So yeah, I think it's really important. It's probably one of the more important things.
So how is it important to you to connecting with your fans and sort of, you know, letting your fans into your world? Because fans, they want to be a part of what you're doing, and they want to get to know you.
Yeah, totally. It's so important. Like, for me, at my level, where obviously I've got like a very small, very interactive group of fans, then I think it's so important, and you can never block those people out, and it's great to know what people are thinking in everything that I'm doing, and like going to the places where they are and meeting them. And I think like people that support you are like the most obviously important thing in your whole career, because they're what like gives you what you have. So yeah, it's really important.
So do you think YouTube plays a big part in all of that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that people get too focused on like the number of views that they have on a video, as opposed to like who's actually watching. Like if you have 1,000 fans that buy your song when you put it on iTunes, then that's a lot. You know, that's a lot of people, and you don't need to have hundreds of thousands of views for people to really interact with you and support you and tell someone about you. So yeah, I think YouTube is really important for like that real kind of experience, an elongated experience.
So you've played some pretty good support gigs. How does it feel to be able to play be able to support one high profile artist and another artist who's got a massive, like huge cult following? And how do you think that has helped you and getting new audiences and getting people to discover your music? And
yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, for me, the people like supporting Codaline and supporting Gabber Alpha were like two of the biggest things that's happened to me, because of the fact that like I was such huge fans, and then supporting Joshua Radin in Australia was like another massive thing, because I obviously followed him for a long time, and I think it helps in the regard that people kind of see what you're doing and relate you to those people, and can kind of tell that you're stepping forward in that way. So people kind of find you, I guess, from those things, but not on a huge scale. It's kind of like you gain really great fans from those shows when you sound like the artist that you're playing with, I guess. So
that's cool. So with that in mind, so how has having like a prestigious booking agent behind you and helping you get the right gigs? Because there are a lot of artists, there's nothing worse when you play a gig which you think is going to be a great gig and nobody turns up.
Yeah.
And so how do you know for example, you get offered gigs, how do you know what is a good gig to do and what is not a gig to do?
I go on the proviso that I take most gigs that I'm offered. Like, I never really say no to gigs, no matter the scale. So, you know, I've done some like gigs to 3 people in the last 3 months, and then some gigs to like 600 people in the last few months. And I think you just need to take every gig and do it in the same way, and not only does it refine you, but it kind of refines the people that you're kind of performing to. Like, if you play to 10 people and those 10 people really like you and you really connect with them, then that's as important as playing to 1,000 people and not doing very well because you haven't done any other gigs in the lead up to that, if you know what I mean.
So do you think things like video clips and do you think video clips help?
Yeah, definitely. I think like music is a feeling, and like it can be very visual, and then when you add the visual element to it, it kind of gives it a whole new way of relating to people. So I think videos are really important. I don't think that they have to be high budget. I just think they have to kind of complement the song and the movement of the song, and yeah, they're fun.
So are we hearing new releases from you in the pipeline?
Yes, definitely. Hopefully really, really soon. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff that I've been working on, and a lot of stuff that is ready to kind of come out. It's just a case of waiting for the right timing, but should be very soon.
So what does 2016 mean to you, and what does that have in store for you? Apart from South by Southwest.
Yeah, we're starting off the year with South by is kind of like one of the best things I guess you can do. And yeah, I really hope to kind of spend a bit more time in the US again, and hopefully go back to the UK as well, and just kind of keep writing and releasing, and hopefully it'll mean lots of new songs.
Cool. So you played the Glastonbury Pop-Up Festival. So
yeah.
What's that all about, and what was that like to be able to do?
Yeah, it was amazing. It's basically at Glastonbury there's this pop-up hotel which is like a VIP camping area where a lot of the acts stay there, as well as like high-profile kind of guests, and it's just this beautiful like glamping area with like a pool and beautiful bathrooms, and yeah, so I played to everyone a few times a day, and we did a few sets, and it was really good. And there was a lot of great people there to kind of watch, and doing it for the second year in a row kind of meant that I was familiar with a few of the guests. So yeah, and Adele was there, which was cool.
Nice, with her new song out and everything. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've had a pretty good rise from you starting out. So yeah, are you happy how it's all gone for you and how it's going for you?
Yeah, definitely. Like I wouldn't change anything. I think that like in the last 2 years now, I guess, I've gone from basically knowing nothing about strategy or kind of the co-writing process or songwriting to like winning an award and having my song cut by the German voice girl, and like it's pretty crazy that that's all kind of happened so quickly, and for someone that started quite late, I suppose. So yeah, I've been really lucky, and I've been really lucky to be able to travel and do the songs that I do, so yeah.
So, if you could have anybody in a video clip, who would it be?
If I could have anybody in a video clip, I'd like to have a male and female category. Female category being, I would really like to have Taylor Swift in a video because I think it would be a fun time. And for a guy, I think, you know, the typical Argos making an appearance would be nice as my love interest. Bit of Ryan Gosling.
Nice. I'll leave you with one more question.
Yeah.
What is your go-to album when you need to feel inspired?
When I need to feel inspired, an album. Probably Bon Iver album. As much as it's quite different to what I do, I find it very centering. Like if you're in a dark room with candles and Bon Iver is playing, like you do not think about anything other than where you are. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much again. I really do appreciate your time, and I know you're going to go places, and watch this space because she's going to go very far. This is Chris from Parx-e Show here. We're talking to the very lovely and talented and gorgeous Miss Elm, who's kindly given up her time today to chat with us. Melbourne, weather. It's always terrible. Some days it's good, some days it's bad, but we're going to push through. We're going to make this short and brief possible because she's a fantastic artist. She's kindly given up her time to go chat about awesome music. So you've moved to Melbourne. So how has that helped you with your career as an artist?
It's been really good for me because I think moving to a new city has been very inspiring and very challenging at the same time. So I've had a lot of time to reflect and process my feelings about leaving home and all my friends. So it's been really good to push myself creatively in that aspect.
So you've got a new song out. So how did that song come about? And
it was unfortunately one of those cliche songs about someone who, I suppose, you know, someone breaks your heart, so you write a song about it. But I was particularly moved by this, I suppose you call it, event, and it's probably one of my most heartfelt songs I've written, in the fact that I really put myself into it. I really put my soul into this song as I was writing it.
So for you, has your songwriting changed from when you were starting out, or is it more or less the same?
It's definitely changed. It started out very sporadic and quirky, I suppose almost very Amanda Palmer-esque, and now it has a lot more flow and it's fairly more accessible. It's still got that quirk and a little bit of jazz element to it, but I feel that it's progressed because I've matured as a person since I've been songwriting, which has been about 5 years now.
So what have you learnt from all those years of songwriting? What have you learnt that you've taken away from stuff that you've been doing now?
I've learned that I have to really take myself out of the situation sometimes when I'm writing a song, because I become so attached to it that I might not want it to change, like changing a verse entirely or removing my favorite lyric of the song, something like that. I really have to be open to interpretation when I'm writing so that I can improve, and I can be very self-critical at times, but I'm finding it's much easier to see it, I suppose, through another person's ears nowadays.
So with the new song in mind, was that when you went through, was the recording process different to earlier material, or is it more or less the same? Or
I think it's generally the same. So what I usually do is I usually workshop the song for a couple of months with my band, and then we work out the structure of the song and the core of what is going to make it work, basically. And then after we do that, we take it into the studio, and usually it does get changed a little bit because the producer is a pair of fresh ears and has some great ideas to bring to the table, so they can make it the best it can possibly be. And then we colour it after that. We add instrumentation and all the little tricks that I suppose really bring it to life. So I never quite know how it's going to end, but my favourite part is when we add the colour, I suppose, once we've got the core song set out.
Cool. So will we be hearing the EP in the works, or will you be taking it day by day?
I can't say anything yet, but there is definitely another release on the cards, which I'm really excited about. It's almost the complete opposite of Iceman, so yeah, stay tuned. Cool.
So what do you like about touring as an artist? What's your love of touring and playing to audiences and new audiences that have never heard you before?
I really like it because it's just amazing to see people's reactions who are new and who have never heard me. Yeah, I just love playing to a fresh audience. It's a challenge playing a new venue. You're not quite sure how it's going to go or who's going to turn up. Sometimes you could be playing to a room of 5 people and everyone looks like they're bored shitless, and then at the end of the song they come up and say, wow, that's the best performance I've ever seen. I'm not usually into your genre, but that was amazing. So you never quite know.
So what have you been listening to recently that's been inspiring you as an artist?
It's a really good question. I actually have been listening to a lot of soul music, so like Marlena Shaw, Quincy Jones, really old production. I just love the vibe of it. You can't be sad listening to that stuff, and it's just great wandering along on the tram, listening to Quincy Jones, having a party on the inside, basically.
Nice. So what do you hope the rest of 2015 will have in store for you, and what do you hope for 2016?
I really want to get into the Melbourne music scene more. I'd love to collaborate with other artists in Melbourne. So far I'm loving it, and I'm getting to know a few venues. And yeah, definitely going to be a tour in 2016 and more music on the way.
Cool. So do you have moments where you just can't write?
Yeah.
And how do you get out of that?
I suppose when I write a song, it's not something that I always do regularly. It kind of just comes out organically, and there might be like 3 or 4 months that I won't write anything, but I don't really take that as a bad thing, because sometimes it's kind of good to put some ideas on the shelf and then come back to it later. But I find that it's usually the times that I'm extremely tired and overworked is when I come out with the best ideas. When I'm relaxed and happy, I usually don't write songs.
Cool. So, do you have any rituals before you play shows? Do you do anything to, like, maybe warm up, or maybe you do something before you play a show?
I always do lip trills. I'll be driving or in the shower or anywhere, just lip trills. People probably think I've lost it, but it's the best way to warm up.
Cool. If there's anybody you could collaborate, who would it be?
That's a really good question. I'm not quite sure at this stage, but I think I just really want to collaborate with artists who are in different genres to me, to maybe bring something new to the table. I've been listening to a little bit more hip-hop lately, and yeah, I just think it would just be totally cool to mesh my style with someone else's. You never know what would happen, really.
Well, I have a couple more questions for you. If you could have anybody in a video clip, who would it be?
Alive or dead?
Anybody.
Probably Michael Jackson, because he's made some of the best music videos, in my opinion, and having him dance in a music video of mine would be amazing. Yeah.
And lastly, are you happy with how things have gone for you with your music, and how far you've come, and how far you've come with, you know, doing your music and being able to play all these shows, and now being able to move to Melbourne and giving that a go?
Yeah, I think that Miss Elm has really gone at a pace that we needed to. It might have been a bit slower than some bands, but I think having taken our time, we really, and myself, I can really focus on honing my craft and improving myself in ways that I can take time to reflect and write slowly. I just think if it came out too fast, I would probably be a bit overwhelmed and not do as good as I could, basically. And I love Melbourne. Melbourne's a really great creative city to be in.
Alright, that was the show. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. And come to the string gig.